What's going on, everyone? Chris from Pickdawgz.com here with the Wraparound. We're going to be breaking down the NHL action going down on Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. And if you're looking for my best bets, the games that I love, head to Pickdawgz.com, click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Gonna have some NHL on the board for you guys. Gonna have some MLB. This is a great time to jump on a long-term pass because you're gonna get my Thursday NFL play. You're going to have college football throughout the week going into the weekend. Another loaded weekend of action as well. So it's a great time to jump on a long-term pass, with everything starting to heat up. NHL's back. NBA is going to be back before you know it as well. And also, if you have NHL picks, make sure you drop them in the comments section below. But we're back. We're going to have another 10 teams that start their journey to the hopefully to their Stanley Cup story. Going to have a couple of the teams that were overseas get into action on Thursday, I believe, as well. But still, some interesting matchups, some interesting storylines as we head into Wednesday's out. Let's not wait any longer. You guys know the drill. Are you ready? I'm ready. Let's get into it. First, we head to a rivalry matchup, an original 6 matchup from the Bell Center, as the Montreal Canadiens take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, the Maple Leafs made quite a few changes in the offseason. They brought in Craig Berube to replace Sheldon Keefe. And Toronto, I would say, made some of the biggest splashes in terms of the names that were brought in free agency. Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Chris Tanev, even Anthony Stolarz to back up Joel. Max Pacioretty was brought in on a tryout that looks like he's going to sign a contract with, but, on the way out, familiar faces: Ilya Samsonov, TJ Brody, Mark Giordano, John Klingberg, Lyubushkin, Tyler Bertuzzi. So this is going to be a new look Toronto team, and I think they're going to have some grit under Craig Berube that they haven't had for the last few years. I think Berube is going to be the right guy for the job. The thing is, though, historically, it hasn't mattered what coach it is. For whatever reason, take it from me, I've been a Leafs fan my entire life. These early season games against Montreal and Ottawa, these rivalry games, for whatever reason, they are always close, and so a lot of times the Leafs have ended up dropping them. The last 9 meetings between these two teams in October, over the last 6-7 seasons, the Canadiens have either lost by a goal or won the game outright. Like I said, the Leafs just take time to get going, and the Canadiens just always play the Leafs tough in these early matchups. So there's not a lot of value in this game, because even if the Leafs do win on the money line, you're paying minus 180. The plus 1.5 is minus 160, minus 155. Do your line shopping. But, it's the lesser of two evils for me here, as I think the Canadiens can at least keep us to a 1-goal game. And it wouldn't surprise me if Toronto got off to a bit of a slow start. So I'm going to take a shot here on Montreal plus the 1.5 goals. Now we head to a matchup from PPG Paints Arena where the Pittsburgh Penguins host the New York Rangers. And for me, this is probably the toughest game on Wednesday's board because you have a Penguins team that is still talented on paper with the names that they have in that roster, but they were a team that also severely underdelivered last year. After guys like Sidney Crosby, who had another great year, once again cementing himself as one of the top 10 players, I think, in NHL history. Outside of him, there was a big drop-off in terms of the production after Crosby, including guys like Evgeny Malkin, and I still don't really love this goaltending pairing in Pittsburgh of Tristan Jarry and Alex Nedeljkovic. The New York Rangers were the best team in the NHL last year in the regular season. They won the President's Trophy, and Igor Shesterkin had one of the best playoffs in recent memory for a goaltender, and almost single-handedly beat the Florida Panthers. And you could argue that the contract situation and the negotiations that have stalled between the Rangers and Shesterkin could have served as a bit of a distraction. But I think that just means that Shesterkin is betting on himself. He wants to reset the goalie free agency market. He turned down an $11 million per year average annual value contract over 8 years with the Rangers. Like I said, if that's not betting on yourself, I don't know what is. And I think that Shesterkin has the surrounding depth and the supporting cast to really put the Rangers in a spot to potentially win the President's Trophy once again. I just think that in this spot, even though the Rangers are on the road, they were one of the more profitable road teams in hockey last season. The Penguins were a great home team. They were top 10 in terms of money won at home. But I still need to see that this Penguins team, is starting to turn things around before I trust them with a reasonable spot on the other side with what I feel is still the better team, the New York Rangers. So give me the New York Rangers on the money line in this one. Now we head out to Rogers Arena for an all-Canadian matchup between the Vancouver Canucks and the Calgary Flames. And the Flames are in a rebuild this season. There's no denying that. I mean, you started to see real signs of it last year where, players were moved on from by Craig Conroy, Sean Monahan, Matthew Tkachuk, late Johnny Gaudreau, Tyler Toffoli, Elias Lindstrom, and now Jacob Markstrom's gone as well. And this is sort of the, just the way that it is now is going to be in Calgary. The hope is that by the arena in 2027 that this team's going to be playoff ready. But for right now, it is going to be, I think, a little bit of a, like I said, a rebuild situation for the Flames. However, this is one of the dogs I don't mind taking a shot on Wednesday night, because the Vancouver Canucks, they are justifiably heavy favorites here. They are the defending Pacific Division champions. They still have a lot going right within this team. But Thatcher Demko was banged up at the end of last season. He is still dealing with injury coming into this season. It is expected that he is going to miss the first 3 to 4 weeks of the season. And when you look at the Vancouver Canucks and their share and their workload spread out between the goalies last year, Thatcher Demko made 51 starts. He was 35-14-2. The other two goalies went a combined 15-9-7. So sub 500 without Demko between the pipes. And 27 of those starts are gone with Casey DeSmith. It's now Artur Silov's show, and Kevin Lankinen signed in as the backup. And I just think this is too hefty of a price to be laying with the Canucks with that as the goaltending situation. I think the Canucks will be fine, but for opening night, I just think that there's value here to be had with the Flames, whether it's plus 1.5 or on the money line here at plus 165. Now we're headed to the T-Mobile Arena where the Vegas Golden Knights take on the Colorado Avalanche, and this is always one of those marquee matchups that you'll always keep an eye on whenever it's on the calendar, because these are two of the better teams in the NHL. Now that being said, the Colorado Avalanche do come in with not a whole lot of change within their roster. I mean, they did move some guys like Jack Johnson and Yakov Trenin and Sean Walker, and they brought in Calvin DeHaan, Oliver Kylington, but the core of this team is still pretty much the same. Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen, and this is a team that made some moves. They brought in Casey Middlestat at the trade deadline last year. But that being said, I still think that even though the Vegas Golden Knights are sort of undergoing a bit of a transition of their own, parting ways with Jonathan Marchessault and Chandler Stevenson, Logan Thompson, Alec Martinez, William Carrier, a lot of guys that have been there for the bulk of the Vegas Golden Knights tenure, I still think Vegas is going to be a tough out at home. They were a great home team last year. They have been a great home team since coming into the NHL. And, this is a well-coached team under Bruce Cassidy. Not to say that the Colorado Avalanche aren't well-coached either, but this is a Colorado team that, remember, last year they were dominant at home and an average team at best when you took them out on the road. You took Colorado out on the road, they were 19-22 in the regular season, while Vegas at home 27-14. One of the more profitable teams, top 5 in the NHL in money won at home last season. So for me, I look at this game and I got to take a shot here with the Vegas Golden Knights at home. I just think that this is one of those games where home ice is going to be the advantage. So give me the Vegas Golden Knights in this one. The final game on Wednesday's card takes us to Rogers Place for another all-Canadian matchup. This one between the defending Western Conference champion Edmonton Oilers and the Winnipeg Jets. And the Winnipeg Jets, still have a lot to like with this roster. They did lose guys like Tyler Toffoli, Sean Monahan, within their ranks, and there's been a lot of change. It was Rick Bowness, he retired, and then Scott Arniel takes over. But we all know that if you have the Winnipeg Jets, you always have a chance as long as you have Connor Hellebuck between the pipes. And Hellebuck had another outstanding season last year. He finished second in wins, second in shutouts. He had 37 wins, 5 shutouts last season. The problem is just the backup. And now it looks like Kaapo Kähkönen is going to be the new backup, the 4th time in 4 years that the Jets have had a different backup. It does look like Hellebuck's going to get the start here, but you're going up against an Oilers team that I think has a point to prove that's going to be coming out from the word go. You saw Connor McDavid in those press conferences after the Oilers had lost the Stanley Cup, rallied back from 3-0 down to force Game 7, almost completed the comeback. This team looks looks driven. And I rarely have the opportunity to say that about a Canadian team because no Canadian team has won the Cup since 1993. But this Oilers team looks primed and ready to go back. And while there have been times where I've criticized the Oilers for being top-heavy with the likes of Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid, and then having a big drop-off in depth after that wasn't a problem in the playoffs last year. I think the Oilers are going to be coming out flying right out of the gate. I'm going to take the Oilers to win this one in regulation. Maybe sprinkle something on the puck line -1.5. That's it. That's all the NHL action for Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. If you like this content, make sure you smash that thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Again, make sure you let me know your NHL picks in the comment section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, including my daily $15 best bet from the NHL or from baseball, head to pickdawgz.com, click the Premium Picks tab at the top of the page. Thanks so much for watching. See you guys soon.